Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, January 23, 2017. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. The Eastern Caribbean Civil Aviation Authority, the ECCAA, has given the go-ahead for the operation of the Argyle International Airport as of February 14, 2017. This was announced by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves at a media conference earlier today. The Prime Minister said the letter of authorization was sent to Permanent Secretary in the Ministry responsible for air and seaports, Godfred Pompey. This means as of 1 a.m. on the 14th of February, flights through the regional airline Liat will be directed from the E.T. Joshua Airport to the Argyle International Airport.
Authorization is hereby granted for the commencement of operations at the Argyle International Airport with effect from 00:01 a.m. on the 14th February 2017, meaning 1 minute past midnight on the 14th. I've raised the issue that I've been advised that Liat would wish to have, after they do their last flight into Anna's Vale, on the 13th, the night of the 13th, they would like to then proceed to Argyle and park the aircraft there so that the first set of passengers would move out in the morning on the 14th to wherever they go, Barbados or wherever.
Dr. Gonsalves, who is also Minister of Civil Aviation, outlined that there will be a full preparedness test done tomorrow, Tuesday, 24th January, at the Argyle International Airport from 10 a.m. and further safety tests will be conducted on February 4th.
Operational test tomorrow, and on the 4th of February they're having further tests, but of all the emergency systems like fire, the security, Coast Guard, the whole set of emergency tests. NEMO, everybody. This opening an airport is not like building the Leeward bus terminal and move people out, you know. I mean, there are a lot of things. I have been advised that matters are satisfactorily in train, and appropriate announcements would be made.
And just weeks before opening day, finishing touches are being carried out at the Argyle International Airport. Last Friday, January 29th, members of staff of the Prime Minister's office and other officials from the Ministry of Security were given a first-hand tour of the soon-to-be-opened facility. Nikita Tony was among members of the media who were on the tour and filed this report.
Despite numerous criticisms, limitations, and several missed deadlines, the reality of the Argyle International Airport is near at hand. Last Friday, January 20th, staff of the Prime Minister's office got their chance to tour the air facility, which for some was their first visit to the soon-to-be-open AIA. Taking up the role of tour guide, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves was on site to welcome the members of his staff as they made their way through the air facility. The first stop was in the very spacious check-in area, where the Prime Minister pointed out design choices and plans for businesses to take up shop spaces. The touring party then moved on to the immigration area with its high-tech equipment, and then to the boarding area or departure lounge, which contains space for 3 food courts as highlighted by the Prime Minister. The next stop was the VIP and VVIP areas, which were elegant and spacious in design. The tour party was greeted while in this area by the CEO of the AIA, Hadley Bond, and his staff, who would be at work come opening day, February 14. Also on hand was the CEO of the Guyanese-based Roraima Airways, Gerald Govaya, who urged all Vincentians to take pride in the major accomplishment, which would provide new avenues, especially in job creation.
Asked me if I was crazy, this airport is going to fall apart. But I want to tell you, I've been an aviator for 40 years. This airport is amazing. I really didn't expect an airport of this modern design and technological. You guys got to really be proud of it. And obviously, from time to time, as a new airport, you will have challenges here and there. But I think this will help create jobs, amazing jobs, because that is the big thing facing all of us in the Caribbean. How do we create jobs? This airport will help do that.
Govaya, who also intends to foster 767 international connections to the AIA through collaboration with Dynamic International Airways, reiterated his promise to have a red and white 767 land on the tarmac of the AIA on opening day as a Valentine's present to Prime Minister Gonsalves. While stressing the need to link SVG to Guyana, Govaya further outlined his plans to assist in the development of a shopping tourism culture here in SVG.
The Guyana economy is about to catapult 500% or 600%. And so linking St. Vincent with Guyana at this time is very, very timely. So we are looking to do that as well. So we'd either look at Cuba, where we go Cuba, St. Vincent, Guyana, New York, St. Vincent, Guyana. And so I think this airport is opening up an amazing amount of new possibilities, not only for St. Vincent, for Guyanese, for the diaspora in North America. This is going to be amazing.
Considered to be a game changer in promoting economic growth and development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Argy International Airport is just weeks away from opening date, slated for February 14th, 2017, Valentine's Day. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
In an effort to maintain the momentum established by the major developments now taking place in SVG, the construction phase of the Black Sands Resort and Villas will soon commence in the constituency of Central Leeward. The groundbreaking ceremony for this new project, which is being undertaken by property developer Pace Development of Canada, took place last Thursday, January 19th. During the groundbreaking ceremony, Active Executive Director of Invest SVG, Alan Alexander, stated that the project is a timely one, which follows on the heels of the soon-to-be-opened Argy International Airport. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Area Representative Sir Louis Straker, in his address, did not shy away from expressing his pride in what is expected to take place in his constituency.
This is going to be the Mecca of tourism.
Expressing his elation with the major developments set to commence in his constituency, Representative of Central Leeward and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sir Louis Straker on Thursday spoke highly of the development of the Mount St. Peter's Hope area. Negotiations have been ongoing between Canadian-based Pace Development and the government for over 2 years to fine-tune what will soon be the Black Sands Resort and Villas, set to be constructed on some 37 acres of land. Boasting on the picturesque nature of the area that will soon be the home of what is considered to be a first-class facility, Straker stated that the project will be a game-changer for the constituency of Central Leeward.
We are seeing the beginning of a great project here, a destination, a tourism destination that would change the whole of Central Leeward.
The minister further highlighted the benefits Pace Development will bring to the constituency, specifically in the area of job creation.
This project that Pace Development is putting down here would cost some 180 million EC dollars. This is no piao type of development. This is a big development. It would provide employment, bartenders, maids, gardeners, farmers. Take note.
Noting that one of the greatest weaknesses this nation possesses is in customer service, Minister Straker urged youth to seek training to help boost the state's tourism products.
How many times I've been to a bank and the teller would just get up, wheel away, and move away without even saying, "Excuse me." So you stand there and you don't know what is happening. We have to be trained, because these investors don't have to come here, you know. Cuba is opening up for them, and they have a lot of sun and sand. Whatever we offer, they have a lot more in Cuba or the other islands. But because of the confidence that developers like Pace and others would have, they're coming in this country and in this government. It is a vote of confidence in this government that they can come here to invest their money and to provide jobs and help us here in this country.
Singing praises to Pace Development, Canadian-based Vincentian Anthony Bowman indicated at his family's intention to purchase 5 of the 50 villas to be built and further assured Vincentians that the property development company is a reputable one.
Pace Developments is an outstanding developer that my wife, who is in the wonderful world of financing, has had the pleasure to work with. Joseph Romano is a distinguished lawyer from Toronto, Canada, and a very successful businessman.
Developer Joseph Romano made promises to residents stating his company would not disappoint Vincentians.
We will not impede any public access to the beach. We will hire locals for construction. Third, we will run the resort with Vincentian workers who will have opportunities to advance within the organization. Fourth, the hardworking farmers and fishermen will be respected and sought after. We will be implementing a training facility for the future employees of the Black Sands Resort.
Assuring Vincentians of the legitimacy of the business relationship between the government and Pace Development, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves stated that there are obligations to be fulfilled by the Canadian developers.
He had to pay 5% of the value as a transfer tax, and then he had to pay alien landholding license. On the first $100,000, he had to pay 10%. On the sum between over $100,000 and $3 million, he had to pay 6%. And anything over $3 million, he had to pay 4%. That's the law. If Romano and Pace don't do what the alien landholding license says, the law says that the property comes back to us.
According to officials, the project is expected to commence as soon as possible and will be completed over a 24-month period. Nolisha Miller, The Evening News.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has expressed his satisfaction with the outcome of negotiations between the government and Canadian developers Pace Development. The Prime Minister said the Black Sands resorts and villas to be constructed in the central Leeward constituency is a significant development for the area, and SVG adding that he has faith in the Canadian-based developers.
This is a significant investment. To deliver anything between 350, 380 rooms or whatever that number is in that ballpark. And I'm very happy that Joe Romano began by saying that there would be no denial of any public access to the beach, because that is one of the first things that I told him. This is not a case where even the access has to be regulated as in some other areas, because it's a resort here and a road is there and the road up there, you just come down. And I'm happy for all the assurances what he has given. And with the spirit which he spoke, I am sure that we will have no difficulties with that.
It was also noted at the groundbreaking ceremony that training will be provided for prospective staff of the resort, and Dr. Gonsalves indicated his hopes that Pace Development will consider collaborating with the SVG Community College on this venture.
I'm happy to hear about the training which he's going to do here. And I'm sure that he will connect and link with the community college, which has a program, an associate degree program in hospitality, in food and beverage, and also the Hospitality Institute, which is at Diamond.
On the Bucament Bay Resort, Labor and Economic Planning Minister Camilo Gonçalves says he is optimistic for the future of the five-star resort given its potential. His remarks came in a recent interview with SVG-TV News, during which time he divulged that the future of the resort depended on the outcome of an investors' meeting scheduled for next month.
Optimistic that the resort will be running again. I don't know, I doubt it will be running under the name Bucament Bay Resort, because that name now doesn't have the best connotation in the press, in the foreign press, in the tourism press, given the difficulties that the facility experienced. But at the core of it, it's a spectacular facility. It's well built. It's beautiful. It exists on a magnificent beach in a fantastically gorgeous valley. It is more accessible now than it's ever been with the impending opening of the international airport at Argyle. The quality of the staff, the hospitality, and all the rest of it has always received top marks, and that is why it is generating interest by other hoteliers and other potential operators. So I'm very optimistic that it will reopen and that it will rehire many, if not all, of the people who work there.
The Labour Minister stated, however, that while the logistics and legalities surrounding the future of the five-star resort are still pending, he is unable to stamp a timeline on its reopening.
What I could not give you a commitment to today is the timeline for that reopening, because the opening of a hotel, in practical terms, whoever takes it over, assuming that one of these entities is approved, is going to have to spend some time sprucing the place back up. It's been closed for a while, and even before it was closed, because of the lack of resources, it was not in its optimal shape. So some money will have to be spent to spruce it back up. And then the question is, where are you in the tourist season when you're done sprucing up? Are you at the tail end of the high season? Are you in the low season? What does that mean for how you plan to open? Do you plan to open in stages? Do you have a soft opening? Do you reopen all at once? Those are questions I can't answer at this point. And those are questions that really no one can answer until this meeting takes place and until the receiver gets a mandate to go forward in a particular direction.
And Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonçalves on Thursday stated that the ULP administration has no intention of allowing the five-star resort to get into callous hands.
The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines would not allow Bucament Resort to go to waste. And if there is a sale consequent upon bankruptcy proceedings, expect the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be in the mix.
The management of the resort took the decision in December to close the facility following weeks of employee unrest and the decision to terminate the hotel's electricity supply by the local utility company for outstanding payments. With some 18 to 20% of local nurses on study leave, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonçalves issued some words of caution to the top brass in the healthcare sector to have better supervision over the authorization of these study leaves. The Prime Minister issued the advice at today's media conference while speaking on the death of a young infant whose mother, he said, went to a clinic, but the clinic was closed. The Prime Minister said although the baby was already dead, certain measures could have still been put in place. He said clinics throughout the state must not be unattended, as millions of dollars are being spent to improve the country's healthcare service.
And this one is relating to management, if a nurse gets out, even a nurse stays at a clinic, as in the case of South Rivers, and we have a very good nurse up there, male nurse. If he has a weekend, the clinic is unattended. That is unacceptable. And the management has to answer to that. And if you say you can't get any nurse to go, well then, we need to review what we are doing. But the fact is this: we must have people there.
Dr. Gonsalves reiterated that administrative guidelines must be established and followed so that there is better operation of health facilities throughout the country.
If they don't approve the leave and they send it to the Public Service Commission, the Public Service Commission, which is an independent body, approves it nevertheless. Of course, if you were to check the Public Service Commission, they will tell you that that's not the case. I'm sure, because I've had situations like this before over my 16 years here. But it is not beyond the ingenuity, and I asked the Director General of Finance and Planning a few weeks ago to work with the permanent secretaries and draft arrangements put into the administrative guidelines that only a certain percentage of persons should be permitted to be on study leave at any one time.
A call has been made for parents and teachers to allow and facilitate the participation of children in the performing arts. This call was made by Joycelyn Blake Brown of the Ministry of Education as she spoke at the launch of the Primary Schools Performing Arts Festival, or PRISPAF, earlier today. Brown calls on both parents and teachers to not simply concentrate on the academic development of a child, but on their holistic development, and noted that participation in the performing arts can aid in building one's social and interactive skills, thus helping in molding a well-rounded individual. Brown further notes that in many countries, such as Japan, where participation in arts is mandatory, children continue to show improvement in academic and social skills.
We have seen improvement in the performance of students in, let's say, mathematics and science when they participate in the performing arts, whether it be dancing, singing, drama, you name it. Increased performance. So I'd just like to remind you, even when you're rather busy, take the time off to give them that level of encouragement at the school level and even at the local level. There'll be improvement in their confidence and presentational skills. Just imagine the shy child. You'll maybe initially go easy on them, maybe small group, class level, whole school level, and then they might be ready for the local scene. But you'll be amazed how these students can actually develop. You'll wonder, is that the same child I saw? Perhaps when he called his or her name, he will just simply cry, and now he's on stage performing? Yes, the students can improve in their confidence.
Also speaking at the launch was Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Cecil Mackey, who stated that there has been continuous acquired investments in the tourism sector, and this will create opportunities for persons to harness their talents and skills. Mackey also calls on teachers to aid in building the capacity of students so they can take advantage of future opportunities.
Get them to recognize that the talents that they have, that they can make careers from. I mean, we can point over and over at Kevin Little, who previously we used to hear that feeling hot was the biggest calypso anywhere in the world. Kevin Little of Ascension now has the biggest soca song anywhere in the world. I mean, so that is what we can achieve as a people, as individuals, if we have the talent and if we get the opportunity. So the opportunities are coming. And we are saying to you, the teachers, principal, thanks for working along with us, but we want to ask at the same time, let us triple our preparation of these youngsters so that they can move into the secondary school level even better prepared than they have been in the past years, recognizing these various opportunities that lie ahead.
Borders, letters, and figures which are not part of the official registration template have no place on the registration plates of motor vehicles here. That's according to Police Sergeant Henry Providence as he spoke on NBC Radio's Views and Issues program surrounding vehicle license plates. Providence stated that the Traffic Department will be clamping down on persons who do not follow the regulations in relation to license plates as a means of ensuring order and safety of all road users.
Whether you didn't know or you had knowledge, once there's an infringement, you're still liable. So in regards to whether or not you are liable, yes, you would be. You can still be penalized for that. But it's no matter of the police using his discretion there, whether or not a visitor using a rental vehicle, whether or not he want to penalize him and her or her. But yes, you can still be penalized. You can still be ticketed for offense like that.
So the police can use discretion,
yes,
but the driver is liable.
Yes.
And whether you're a visitor or not.
Or not.
Okay, maybe you can touch on the border one time, the issue of bordering, and then we go to the inspection. With,
well, again, the whole issue of bordering, the law states quite clearly, no letters, no figures should be on the registration plate other than those that should be there. So any bordering, any letters, any figures, they should not be, they have no place on the registration plate.
Providence added that the traffic department has been engaged in an education campaign in order to sensitize the public on the matter and warned that those caught in breach of the regulations would be penalized.
Regards to the regulation that deal with the whole issue of identification marks or registration plates, to have themselves regularized before it's too late. And too late in a sense before the police stop you, because as we are at this point, we have already sensitized, we have already sent a message out there to the public, so we're in the process now where we are prosecuting. We have already gone past the stage of educating. Most persons up there know already, because this whole issue was on all the radio stations, it was on social media, television, all the media houses, it was in the print and the electronical media houses. So everybody should know by now that the department is out in full force in regards to the whole issue of registration plate. It's not a time for us now to be still educating persons, but for persons who are not in compliance, I'm still urging them to have themselves regularized before the police meet you and stop you. Because if you are met at any point from now on, it's prosecuting. We have already done our part in educating.